May I have your attention, please? Our program will begin in 10 minutes. We ask you at this time to please find your seat. Thank you. May I have your attention, please? Our program will begin in 5 minutes. We ask you at this time to please find your seat. Thank you. As a courtesy to our presenters and to those around you, we ask you at this time to please silence all cell phones and electronic devices. Our program's about to begin. Please find your seat. Please welcome Shana Chrysler, Vice President, Lay Leadership Development for the Jewish Federations of North America.
The moment is ours to meet. Since October 7th, something real and honestly something remarkable has been happening in our community. We're seeing a surge in Jewish engagement unlike anything we've seen in recent memory. Nearly 1 in 3 Jews say they feel more connected to Jewish life since the attacks, and they're not just showing up, they're stepping up in leadership, in philanthropy, in community, in conversations, and that includes all of you. This group, professionals and lay leaders, veterans and first-timers, is a living expression of that surge. More cabinet members here than ever. More professionals here than ever. It's personal, it's emotional, it's spiritual. And for the most part, people are describing their experiences with words like meaningful, comforting, energizing, inspiring. And that's because of what's happening in your communities, because of your commitment, your partnership, and your willingness to lead. This moment comes with significant responsibility. Some Jews, especially those who have historically felt on the edges of Jewish life, don't always feel that they belong. Others want to talk about Israel, but don't feel safe or welcome to bring their perspectives into the room. And yet, here's the most important part, they're still showing up, but they may not always, which means we have a very narrow window and a huge opportunity. This moment is asking us to lead differently, not just to hold events or raise dollars, but where our leadership helps create spaces of real belonging. Jewish Federation's Lay Leadership Development Department, which include cabinet and alumni, National Women's Philanthropy, changemakers, and local board leadership development, is designed to support this exact work. We're strengthening leadership across generations, geographies, and identities. That means equipping leaders at every stage with the tools to lead with clarity, compassion, and purpose. It means shaping board cultures that are inclusive and effective. And it means grounding our leadership in Jewish values while building practical skills in governance, fundraising, and community building. Each of our chevra are a part of a powerful community of practice, one where your voice matters, your service matters, and your impact can ripple far beyond Federation. And for the professionals in the room, your work makes this all possible. Everyone in this room is a part of the surge, and you are the leaders who will help us sustain it. Keep showing up, keep bringing others with us. Keep building a Jewish future that is more connected, more inclusive, and more powerful than ever. To deepen our understanding on the surge and cultivating a culture of belonging in Jewish life, it is now my great pleasure to introduce my friend and colleague, Isaiah Rothstein, rabbinic scholar and public affairs advisor, and the leader of Jewish Federation's Center for Jewish Belonging.
I want to thank the one up above for giving me life and giving me all your love. Yeah, I want to thank you for that. Soul that you placed in me is pure, and when I breathe I feel that much more. insecure, yeah, I want to thank you, Moda'ani, Lefanecha Melech Chai V'Kayam Shechazarta, B'Nishmati B'Chaim L'Rabba Munasecha, Moda'ani, Lefanecha Melech Chai V'Kayam Shechazarta, B'Nishmati B'Chaim L'Rabba Munasecha. Getting out of bed, my back is straight. Though life gets hard, you keep on girding me with strength. Yeah, I want to thank you. Wanna praise you for giving me eyes to see that I have every single thing I need. She'asa li kol tzarki moda'ani, lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechazarta b'nishmat b'chaim l'rabba munasecha moda'ani, lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechazarta b'nishmat b'chaim l'rabba munasecha. As long as I breathe. When's the last time you thought about the fact that you're breathing? I know you believe in me. As long as I continue, I want to praise you. As long as I breathe, I know you believe in me. As long as I continue, I want to praise you. Moda'ani, lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechazarta b'nishmati b'chaim l'rabba munasecha. Moda'ani, lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechazarta b'nishmati b'chaim l'rabba munasecha. Moda'ani, I'm grateful, but I am leaning in. I'm leaning in lefanecha with all the things that are in front of me. As leaders in this moment, starting each day, the first line in the prayer book is to say, I want to lean in. I want to be reminded of my strengths, but I also am reminded that sometimes I don't even know what the day will bring. And so the blessing for us as we show up at the closing day of what feels like a really magical experience, I just hope that each of us could lean in more, express our gratitude more for being able to be a part of this beautiful chevra. Good morning, good morning. And just to say that I really do feel like these last few days have been magical. Seeing the connections being made, the collaborations and partnerships taking shape, and how each of us have been deepening our analysis on the key issues facing Jewish life. It's incredible to see how the chevra grows and deepens. And chevra, from this word chibur, is about connection. It's about trei hafachim mechabrim, bringing together what seems like it doesn't usually come together, joining together opposites. And this idea of unity exists where there is diversity. There can't be a sense of diversity if there is no unity, and there can't be unity if there is no diversity. And for the next few minutes together, I wanted to reflect on the tremendous opportunities before us to increase a sense of belonging for all Jews and our loved ones, and to be able to be reminded that since October 7th, we've seen a remarkable spiritual awakening in Jewish life and a surge in Jewish engagement. Shabbat tables are full, prayer services are overflowing, new circles of learning and connection. But here's the challenge of 2025. How do we turn a moment of urgency, a moment of grief, or even a moment of fear into a culture where we are advancing belonging, increasing belonging for all Jews and our loved ones that lasts? Or in the words of King David, Mi ya'aleh b'har Hashem, who could rise to the mountain? Who could recruit? Anyone. Mi yakum b'makom kadsho. Who's capable of staying on the mountain? Who's capable of retaining what we have been able to see in these last 2 years around engagement? And this is a major priority for our generation, for Jewish federations, and our Center for Jewish Belonging. And our center's mission is to convene, mobilize, and empower the Jewish community to create a culture of belonging for all Jews and our loved ones. We train leaders, support and amplify the voices of Jews from underrepresented groups, and work to ensure that every single Jew in North America and really across the world feels seen and valued. Did you know that prior to October 7th, 88% of American Jews said they feel a sense of belonging to the Jewish people. Did you know that 93% say that they feel proud to be Jewish? Not bad, right? But if you think about it, did you also know that before October 7th, less than 1/5 of American Jews showed up in Jewish institutional spaces? And from that, we recognize that from the people who did show up in a synagogue space, 51% said they feel little to no sense of belonging. Ugh, pretty bad. And so on that note, like October 8th Jews, the highest numbers of Jews engagement today is not in our synagogues, in our schools, JCCs, or federations, but in the living room immersive rituals like Shabbat, Passover, Hanukkah, or visiting Jewish sites while traveling, and of course, Seinfeld. And what is so powerful about Jewish Federation's data on the surge is that our neshamas, our souls, the Jewish people, are aching to feel connected, to feel like we belong, to feel like we're a part of these melodies of Deborah and David, to feel like we could add our voice to the waterfall of Jewish wisdom that has been passed throughout every generation. And if we are to truly leverage this room and our collective Jewish federations and our community organizations to rise to this moment, we must see the work of cultivating a culture of belonging for all Jews and our loved ones as a core strategy to being integrated into everything that we do. And friends, we know that in 2024, the data showed us that 43% of American Jews were engaging. But in the last year, that dropped to 31%. And for historically marginalized identity groups, that drop has even happened more rapidly. And we need to understand that the struggle to retain the surge in our houses of worship, our community events, our holiday programs has everything to do with how we honor the intentionality of building spaces like this one for people of all different walks of life, diverse identities, and ideologies. And whether it be the ideological divergence around Israel or how we support underrepresented groups, too many Jews have described feeling excluded, alienated, or turned off as they try to seek connection, taking their gifts, their talents, and their essence to other places. And so as Jewish Federation System, our mandate, we know, friends, is to ensure that all Jews and our loved ones flourish. To do so, we must be willing and able to cross those borders, to build bridges, to live into the name of Yisrael, Kisarita Elokim v'anashim v'tuchal, to be a people who bridge heaven and earth, who thread these different ideas and communities. This is Yisrael. And we do not want any Jew to feel less than because of what tribe they're a part of, what pin or color flag they have. Yes, there are boundaries to inclusion, but we are people whose entire faith is built on the concept of mutual responsibility for each other and our families and as a community. And as Scott shared, one of our co-chairs of Cabinet shared at the opening plenary, this is not a time to sit on our strengths, but to get up. As Eric also shared at the opening plenary, at a time when our leadership is needed most, as a Jewish Federation movement, we are in the unity business. We bring people together, we bridge divides, and we sew or resew a fabric that sometimes feels like it's tattering. So our collective here is uniquely positioned as professionals and as lay leaders to rise to the greatest challenges facing Jewish life, of which one of them is definitely cultivating a culture of belonging for all Jews and our loved ones. So I hope you see this as a nice message, but this work isn't Disney. It takes work. And how do we approach this? With the culture wars raging from within and around us, how can I, as a member of a holy chevra, take the action and make a difference in my local community? How can I leverage this surge in Jewish life to increase a sense of belonging for all Jews and our loved ones? Well, for starters, I hope you will be in touch with our team at the Center for Jewish Belonging to leverage our expertise, our toolkits, our belonging-based program models and trainings in your local city. But we also hope you'll be in touch with our beloved lay leaders and the co-chairs of Belonging for 2025 and 2026, Beth and Stephen, for ways to get involved in Cabinet's belonging efforts that are taking place both nationally and locally. So with that in mind, please welcome our Cabinet Torah Gabbai leader, the host from Denver, Colorado, and one of our co-chairs of Belonging, Stephen Palitz.
Thank you, Rabbi Isaiah. Kol Yisrael arevim zeh bazeh. Each member of our community is responsible for one another. This powerful teaching reminds us that our responsibility extends beyond ourselves. It calls on each of us to show up for one another and to make sure that every one of our chevra feels seen, valued, and truly included. The koach, the strength of this incredible program, lies in a community that is united and welcoming to all. It is a privilege and a great blessing to have Beth Bormand as my partner in this incredible work to ensure that every member of Cabinet feels welcome in this sacred community. Over the course of this retreat, I've had the honor of speaking with many of you. You've shared your experiences, your ideas, and your honest feedback, and I want to thank you for your vulnerability and trust. Beth and I hear you, and we are committed to being responsive to this community's needs. We want you to see us as resources in building a community where everybody feels at home. Over the next year, Beth and I will continue to build on the work of our fellow chevra who previously served in our role and the work of Jewish Federations of North America professional staff and the Center for Jewish Belonging. One of our goals for this year is to create a belonging task force made up of our fellow chevra to give you a direct line of communication for feedback, ideas, best practices, and challenges. This will help us to better understand how to make this space feel inclusive and welcoming for all of Cabinet. We also invite you to join and support the various identity-based affinity groups that we host: Religious Pluralism, Friends of Ruth, Pride, and Moed for Jews of Color, just to name a few. These groups are a vital part of creating space for diverse voices and lived experiences within our community. The work is difficult, but because we are responsible for one another, we must bring that commitment home by activating our local leadership and championing belonging across every federation system. It is with this in mind that we will now hear from three incredible chevra about ways that they have seen and worked toward ensuring that no one in our community or loved one feels isolated or excluded because of who they are. And to kick things off, I'm proud to introduce my co-chair, Beth Bormand.
Good morning, everyone. As a reminder, I'm Beth Bormand. I'm a third year from Pittsburgh, the best city on earth. Don't worry about it. I know it's easy for me to be up here and talk about belonging and how it's hard to be on the fringes of Jewish society or community. And it's easy to think, well, that's rich coming from someone on executive committee of Cabinet. And that's a valid point. But the truth is that until very recently, I was not involved in the Jewish community at all. Almost my entire life, when I grew up in Pittsburgh, I was faced with negative experience after negative experience in my local Jewish community. Sometimes that was clergy making me feel like othered. Sometimes it was classmates making me feel that way. Other times it was leaders in the Jewish community that I knew personally that were not being held responsible for things that they did. All of these things made me feel like I had no place, and quite frankly, I didn't want to be involved. But then in 2020, there was a trip through Honeymoon Israel, which is a Federation-supported program. And for those not familiar, Honeymoon Israel is a trip that is meant to take couples who are on the marginalized edges of the community, so to speak. So a lot of interfaith couples, LGBTQ, couples of color, and then to take them to Israel to show them that Judaism is for them too. You don't have to fit a certain mold. You don't have to go to sleepaway camp. You don't have to, go to synagogue every month. You don't have to do these things because Judaism is so much wider than that. And going on that trip with my husband, who is not Jewish, really changed how I felt about everything. And I thought, you know what? I do belong. And if people don't think that I do, that's a them problem. And like any challenge, I decided, here we go. If people think I don't belong, I'm going to prove them wrong. And so I started getting involved more and more and showing up and making my voice heard. And I had joined cabinet, and I realized that this is an opportunity here that we have to make a real difference and make the change that we want to see. So again, it's easy to just say, oh, this isn't great, I don't like this, I don't like that. You have the opportunity in cabinet to make that change and to help other people feel welcome like you want to feel welcomed. This is a privilege that Stephen and I get to work on together, and the work is not easy. It's a heavy lift. And honestly, even being curious about how to be helpful and open and help people feel like they belong is the first step, and it's a big step. So we are here to help you take those steps. I know that every day I try to do better, and thank God I have Stephen as my co-chair to help me with that. But really, this means everything to us, and we want it to mean everything to you, and so this is a main priority. So if there's anything you need, you can always reach out to us, and I look forward to working with you.
Hi, I'm Jonah Platt. I am a second year from Los Angeles, and and I'm a Jewaholic. Love Jews, can't get enough of them. And one of the foundational principles of the Jewish advocacy work that I do online and through my podcast, Being Jewish, has always been inclusivity and trying to create a place for belonging for all sorts of diversity: political diversity, ethnic diversity, religious diversity, Jewish observance diversity, et cetera, et cetera. And I feel I've been successful in this regard, and know I have, because I hear from people who are at different ends of the spectrum. I hear from the Orthodox rabbi in Israel, and I hear from the woman in Iowa who just found out she was Jewish a month ago, and they're all there. And I think why I've been able to be successful in that way, I've actually already said, which is that one of the foundational principles of my advocacy has been inclusivity. It's a foundation, it's not a feature. So I think in order to create the kind of inclusive places and spaces that I believe most, if not all, of the people in this room desire, we have to be really intentional about it from the beginning. It has to be the prism through which all the questions of our decision-making are being filtered. We have to not just desire that situation, we have to go into our communities and we have to demand it. We have to insist on it. And I just think with the power of the leadership in this room, I know change comes slow, but if everybody here goes back to their communities and demands the things that we're craving, which are community and solidarity and arms, linked in arms, and density and volume of Jewish community. If we want those things, we have to welcome everyone in, and that starts with intention. So I urge you to go back to your communities and make it happen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cameron Norwood. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. We've got 3 of us here. We haven't had a cabinet group in over 12 years, so I'm proud to be representing Southern Arizona. So I went to the breakout group with Rabbi Isaiah, and it was all about belonging and identity, and I got a little emotional. I think every slide that they were going through kind of just hit me hard in terms of my story and my journey. So they asked me to tell my story. So I actually grew up in Los Angeles. I was born in San Francisco. I grew up in Los Angeles for about 5 years. I went to an all-black private school, and I always felt like I didn't have a strong black identity. I was in black communities that made me feel like I wasn't black enough, or I was the white black guy, or the Oreo, or the way I speak wasn't really vibing with the community. And so I've always kind of struggled with my black identity. I've always, as I've grown up, moved to San Francisco, then moved to Tucson. My parents have always put me in
whatever it took to get me in the nicer school district, or wherever I could go where I could really expand and grow, personally and on my way to be a professional. And when I moved to Tucson, Arizona, what I noticed immediately was that the JCC became my home. It became part of my identity. It became part of who I was, and the community and the culture in Tucson, in the Jewish community, really wrapped their arms around me. It was like my YMCA, the JCC. I actually went to summer camp there. I played basketball there. I would go meet with all of my friends there, and my school district was, I felt like at times like half Jewish kids, and so I just really felt embraced by the Jewish community. And I actually met my wife in middle school, in 8th grade, and I asked her out the first day of high school, and we started dating, and off and on through high school, off and on through college. She went to ASU in Phoenix, and I went to U of A. Bear down if there's any U of A grads in the crowd out there. So we had a very strong love. We as I said, we broke up a bunch of times, but we would always kind of find our way getting back together no matter what happened. And my wife is Jewish. I have a very strong, powerful Jewish father-in-law, and I just felt like that was, again, part of my community, part of my people. So she moved to Chicago. I followed her to Chicago. We kind of went there to expand our careers. We had kids, and we got married in 2016. We had kids 2017, and then 2020. So we have 2 beautiful daughters that we were raising Jewish. So thank you. So I have this dad strength moment with my family, my extended family, my Jewish family, and my kids. And I feel like when I moved back to Tucson in 2021, mid-COVID, I wanted to get more ingrained in my local community since I had been gone for about 10 years in Chicago. So fast forward to joining some boards and getting more involved in the community. I remember when October 7th happened, and for me, it was really a punch in the gut. I felt like people were attacking my family, my friends, and my community that had embraced me and wrapped their arms around me. And I had this urge to want to get more involved, a deeper involvement in the Jewish community. So I talked to a bunch of my Jewish friends, and I was like, hey, what can I do? How can I jump in? Throw me in, coach. And one of my buddies was like, hey, you should sit on this meeting for our Jewish Philanthropies of Southern Arizona. We have this thing called Super Sunday. You love to cold call. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Sign me up. So little did I know I was going to be co-chairing Super Sunday in 2024, which was great. It was awesome. We raised like $150,000. It was really, really cool. So that was kind of my first jump into the community. And then after that, it was just ask after ask after ask. And I said, yes. Keep me in the game. And so fast forward, I joined our young men's group. We have our young men's group chair out somewhere, Nate Weisband. He came with us. He's our pro from Tucson. And again, I was at this moment where I felt extremely embraced by my community once again, and I just wanted to keep giving back and keep joining more committees. Fast forward, I did Super Sunday again. This year we raised $260,000 on that Super Sunday, which was really, really cool. I've got my own cohort of under $1,000 donors, and we do all kinds of things to kind of reinvigorate our community. Our young men's group, we got to go around Tucson to Hallel and all these different Jewish organizations and learn about how we could give back. And it feels so good to me to be able to give back to my community the way that they embraced me and made me feel comfortable. I want to give back. And a lot of you have seen me in the hallways. We've had drinks together, and everyone asks me kind of, hey, how'd you get here? So yeah, that's how I got here. I actually hosted, Harrison from Phoenix came down and we hosted an event at my house about cabinet. We hadn't had anybody in 12 years. We've got 3 of us here from Southern Arizona. It was really powerful. And I said, once again, sign me up. I'd love to be a part of it. And I'm so glad I joined so far. It's been amazing. I've met so many great people. I feel like I belong. I feel like I'm understanding my identity better and better, and I'm just really excited and grateful to be a part of this program. So thank you so much. Hope to meet all of you.
The surge we have experienced is not guaranteed to last. It is critical that we do the work to ensure that every Jew finds their place in the Jewish community today and in the future. Rabbi Isaiah, Stacy Aviva Clark, and the Jewish Federation Center for Belonging are at the forefront of this important work. But they do not exist in a vacuum. They are a tangible, valuable resource that are available to you and each of your federations so that you can influence the integration of belonging into your local community. On the cabinet level, Stephen and I are dedicated to promoting belonging and equity in all Jewish spaces. We welcome and encourage you to reach out to us at any time. Maybe you have an idea for how to do a better program. Maybe you have a better way of supporting various identity-based affinity groups. Or maybe you just want to tell us how great we are. Either way, the Center for Jewish Belonging, Stephen and I are here for you to help guide you and support you in your efforts to build a lasting and inclusive Jewish community.
Please welcome the Chair of National Women's Philanthropy, Sherry Kitai, along with Josh Kitai, 5th year from Detroit.
Kavre. Hi, I'm Josh Kitai, and as just mentioned, I'm a 5th year from Detroit. Shout out Detroit. I have the immense privilege today to be joined on stage by my mom, Sherry.
Hi, Josh.
Hi. It was a great thrill for me and our entire family when my mom was selected to be the chair of National Women's Philanthropy, which was so well deserved and honestly a surprise to none of us.
Joshy, thanks. Big decisions. Wait, I'm not ready yet?
No, you're not ready yet.
Oh, this is what's been happening for the day.
She gets too excited and she just wants to go.
Okay, go, back to you.
Slow the engine down. So Mom.
Yes.
We're gonna be in a conversation and I'm gonna ask you some questions. And as you requested, I will not ask you to share the story of my birth.
I've got some stories.
And my understanding is that you're going to ask me some questions as well. Does that sound good?
Perfect. Okay, I think it's my turn now. First of all, I have to give a shout out to...
You are unbelievable.
I'm not here yet?
You are not there yet.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
This is why we're a good duo, because I help her and she helps me. Let's go back to when you first got involved in Federation.
Okay.
Share with us a little bit about the journey and what brought you to be engaged in Jewish communal life. Now it's your turn.
Okay, it's my turn now. And now I'm going to give my shout out because we couldn't be here without the support of the staff. And every time all of you around any of your professionals, please thank them, because it's a yeoman's job to make this all happen. And thank you for including us, putting up with us. Clearly, it's a little bit of a put up. And of course, shout out to Detroit. And of course, the first years, I can't see you out there, but I think you're out there. And I have to give a personal shout out to my nephew, Jake Saxey, wherever you may be. I am so excited to see you here and have the best time. And also I want to thank Cam and Beth for your words. And Jonah, are you still out here? Jonah may be gone, but listen to Jonah's podcast with his mom. It is exceptional. Julie and he have so many words that you guys will really enjoy. So now it's back to me answering your question, right?
No, I'm up again. Jake, we do love you, and we're so glad that you joined Cabinet, by the way. Jake's a first year from Los Angeles, and we're so happy to have him here in Denver. That being said, I know we have some parents in the room and perhaps some future parents. And with the Door of a Door being a huge part of our tradition, how do you think about the ways that you show up with your kids as you lead within the Jewish community, and how did that intersect with your growing involvement?
First of all, my family, they struggled. And we didn't have the means. And my grandparents kind of led by example, and they taught us to lead by example. They said it was important that you give your time. So we did that, and then I wanted to model for you guys. It was important for me because I was a participant in the community, the PTA, all that kind of stuff. I didn't know where I wanted to go or what I want to do, and I hope that you all take the time to figure out really what is important, what works and what doesn't work for you. And what I did was I got involved with Israel and Overseas. It became my passion. I was the chair of the Israel Camper Program. I was teen mission chair, partnership chair, and I brought in all of my Israeli chavra into our home so that you guys could meet them and you guys could see the importance of having this connection. And therefore, it kind of set me down a path and hopefully would allow you guys to see the importance of leading and stepping in. Yeah.
There's a screen.
Now, let me, okay, has any of you figured out I've never had a screen before? This is so confusing because I'm old school and I have these cards. So now that I share a bit of my journey and how I started in getting involved, darling son who has been so patient and kind, given what I shared, what is it like for you to step into your own leadership, having nothing to do with us? And what drove you to go to cabinet and take on more of a leadership role?
Thank you. Now I can finally speak. First of all, Sherry was Sherry, aka Mom, was very humble about everything that she's accomplished over the years. She named just a few things, but she's been on just about every board in Federation, and now obviously NWP, which we'll talk about later in this conversation. But what brought me to cabinet was I first started being in Next Gen Detroit after college, and I was just on the board for a few years, and then I moved to LA and New York, and I wasn't really that involved. And when I moved back home, I was asked to rejoin the board, and I got more involved. I was part of throwing some of our biggest events in Detroit, and the more I got to be involved in our community at home, it got me to think about what other opportunities I wanted to do. And one of the older chevre that graduated a few years ago asked if I wanted to join cabinet when we were at an event, and I was like, "What's cabinet?" And he's like, "It's really cool, you'll like it, a lot of good people, you should join." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Went home, and my mom was like, "You should really do that, it's really cool." And I'm like, "All right, if my mom says it's cool, then I'll do it." So I thought about it a little bit longer. I had a conversation, and I signed up, and I learned that it's a 5-year commitment, and so I said, I'll go my first year and see how it goes, and if it goes well, then maybe I'll come back for the next 4 years. So I showed up my first year in San Diego, and I checked in, and I'm not really like a nervous person. I'm very confident, and I was like, this is a little weird. I don't really know these people. And they sat me at this table with this like 6'9" guy, Josh Barvin. I don't know if you're here still, but I was like, is this guy Jewish, or like should he be in the NBA? I was like, I think I'm at the wrong event. Anyways, he was super nice, and I met a few other people that I knew through other family friends, and I went to a few lectures, and I had a good time, but I was like, I'm not sure if this is the right thing for me. So I went home and thought about it, and I talked to my mom, and she's like, "God, you're such an idiot. Just go back your second year, and you'll enjoy it. You'll meet new people, and you'll have a better experience." So I went back to Florida. I had a completely different experience. I had an amazing caucus. My leader was unbelievable, and our conversation we had was great. And every year just got better and better. In Detroit, we were fortunate enough to host retreat 2 years ago, which from what I've heard was an unbelievable experience for everyone. I wasn't able to make Seattle last year due to other prior commitments, but I am here back in Denver for my final year, and I am shocked that I'm sitting here on stage, because I was the guy that was just sitting at a table thinking I was just like you guys sitting in the crowd, and now I'm here with my mom, which is awesome. And I thought it was really special last night after the event. The fifth years went and did a little farewell, and we all went around in a circle and talked about our experience over the last 5 years and how we got to know each other so well, and our experiences and like what the future holds for us, and how we're all going to stay in contact with each other, and how this is not like just the end, but just like how we can extend ourselves to be involved in each other's lives. And so that was really special. And then I was like, all right, cool. This is 11 o'clock. I'm going home. I'm exhausted. I need to go to sleep so I can get up and work out. And then everyone's like, we're going to karaoke. You're not going to come? And so I was like, all right, fine. I'll go to karaoke. And so it's like small things like that where it's like you don't really think you're going to do things, and Cabinet just kind of pushes you that way. And you're with people that you love, and because you're with people that you love, you're not even thinking about the time that goes by, and that's why I'm here, and I'm so thankful to be here and be with all of you, my Chavrei.
So,
You're not up.
I am not up. Look at him, he's looking at his cards, so old school.
As we sit up here sharing our family's connection to Federation leadership, we know that there are also lots of Chavrei in the room who are not part of family with a multi-generation connection. What do you think is the most important that all the Chavrei know, regardless of family history?
Okay, so I get to talk now, I guess. He did a little chatting. Multi-generational is great, and I think we're representative of it. But I didn't have that, as I mentioned before, when I was growing up. So I knew my role was to step it forward, step out of the box, do things different, and support my Jewish community and let people know really what was going on. So I went and got involved in campaign because I was active. And we had a gentleman, many of you may have heard of, David Hermelin, and he taught us to give till it hurts. And that is my motto, and that is what I shared with my kids, is that I don't care if it's $18. You have to step in and you have to show up and be there, and that is part of being Jewish. You have to show up for your community, you have to show up for your friends, and you have to also show your friends that are not Jewish the importance of how we take care of one another, because if it's not us, who's going to do it? And like I mentioned before, it's about time. So in my path, I had no idea that I was a recipient of Federation dollars. I wouldn't have gone to camp if it wasn't for the fact that Federation was there for me. And it's ironic that all these things came together. So now my parents really aren't involved. My grandparents were minimally involved and volunteer. And I have a little different story with Cabinet with Josh. I think Lauren Rubin called me one day and she's like, oh, Mazel Tov. I can't believe Josh decided to join Cabinet. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because he thinks he told me, but he really didn't. And I said, I can't believe that he's made this choice. And she said, yeah, he's so excited and he's going to be part of it. And to me, that was the name of the game. It wasn't, as a parent, you need to do this and that. Yes, we had discussions in our family, of course. But I want my kids to be who they are. I want you all to make your decisions and be comfortable with them. Be a little uncomfortable too. Then I'm in a JFNA board meeting downtown in New York, and someone comes up to me and says, your son's Adam Kitai, right? I said, yeah. He said, oh, well, he's here. I said, well, yeah, he lives in New York. And she goes, no, he's in the building. I said, what are you talking about? He's on the young adult, the real estate board. Had no idea. He didn't say one word to me. Okay, so maybe you're thinking I need to have better communication with my kids. Could be true. Our youngest son, Evan, in New York, working with children with disabilities, sports, and also involved in the Jewish community. So we started this program. What has come from is my parents are now involved in Detroit. So I'm giving you the flip of the multi-generational, is that we, Josh and I, and our kids haven't got our parents to get involved. So don't think that you can't go that route too. It's really important. Josh?
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling.
Well, what I would say to Chavrei who are not part of Federation family is, that's great. You get to be the first generation. We are all working to build flourishing Jewish communities, and now and in the future. By being in Cabinet, you have taken a significant step to perhaps one day you'll get to sit on stage with your kid and talk about what you've started with your family, which is super special.
Also, I want to share with you as we close, National Women's Philanthropy is right in line with Cabinet. We are all working to do the same thing. We are helping to create a safe place in our Jewish world. We're doing advocacy. We're going to the Hill. We're doing education. We are helping each other. We're collaborating. We're doing everything that we can to support one another with best practices. I encourage you, if there's any National Women's Philanthropy in your areas, go to them. They want to help you. They want to support you. We're all in this together, and we are so honored and thrilled that we can be a part of what your world is. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. We're going to make a difference. We've got a lot of hope. And Joshua, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. You know, you did a great job at answering a question before I even asked you the question.
Thank you all so much.
Anyways, thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
Moving forward together starts with being together.
No matter what we face, we will face it together.
We will not sit on the sidelines while the future of our people unfolds.
We fight. We fight for our hostages. We fight for our Jewish values.
Together we can bring hope, even in the darkest of times, to those who need it most.
What an honor it is to be in a room with the Jewish leaders who matter so much.
The Jewish people will always flourish.
Please welcome the President and CEO of the Jewish Federations of North America, Eric Fingerhut.
Let's turn up the lights a little bit. There's a microphone in the back. So any sports fans in the room? I'm looking for somebody who knows, who's following college football really closely. Okay, raise your hand, microphone, come bring. I need a college football aficionado. Somebody help me here. Okay? All right.
I volunteered myself.
You volunteer. Stand up, introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Dan Sweeney from Dayton.
Okay. Tell us about the transfer portal.
Ooh. Transfer portal is rough.
Okay. What is it?
Okay, so the transfer portal, if you are a college athlete and you want to leave where you have played or committed, you can leave immediately. There used to be where you had to wait a year, but now you can immediately go from one school to the next.
Okay, so this is a pretty big change, right? That players can move from college to college. Is it a good thing? Tell us the good thing, and tell us what's good about it and what's bad about it.
It's good for schools like Ohio State.
Okay. Well, in that case, yeah. All right, go ahead. Why? It's good because they can...
Because we can recruit players that maybe weren't as highly recruited out of high school that came and made the best of their opportunity at a smaller school, and then they want to go to a big-time school.
And what's bad about it?
For those smaller schools.
Okay.
They lose players. They have to recruit out of high school more often and more heavily.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Ohio State fan. I need a Major League Baseball fan. Who's a Major League Baseball fan? Raise your hand. No. There we go. We have somebody in the back. Okay. Microphone, please. Tell me about the pitch clock.
Oh boy. If you're an old school baseball fan, it's awful.
Yeah. What is it?
It's the pitch clock now. I think it's a 15-second pitch clock. Am I right, guys? Double check. Previously, there was a much longer limit on the time the pitcher had to throw the ball. Has now been shortened down significantly, increasing the likelihood of the games lasting not nearly as long.
They did to shorten the game. So, and is there something about, like, if it goes into extra innings, they like have a runner on a base or something? Some new rule like that?
They've got a ghost runner that starts on second, starting in the top of the 10th.
A whole new thing, right? And also, I don't think it's in the major leagues yet, but they have computers now that call balls and strikes, right? Instead of umpires.
The ABS system, the automatic balls and strikes system, that's not been implemented yet at the MLB level, with the exception of the All-Star game. Very good. Did you tell us who you are? My name's Alyssa O'Neill, first year from Houston.
All right, thank you. I knew we had some sports fans, and I knew we'd be able to do it. So listen, I had to look this up. College football has been played the way, in some form, intercollegiate football, for 156 years. 156 years. Huge traditions associated with college football, but they've just made these incredibly dramatic changes, some of which are positive, some of which are negative for some. Major League Baseball is 149 years old. 149 years old. And just in the last couple of years, they've made some pretty significant rules changes because they felt they needed to modernize, to speed up, to change. How old is Cabinet? Anybody know? 62 years old. 62 years old. 63, Shayna says. 63? 63, Ben tells me. All right. 63 years old. Thank you. See, I missed a year. And we have traditions, right? We've been doing this for a long time. There's a lot of important traditions that come with Cabinet, and there are 117 new members of Cabinet this year. So I want to say to you, besides welcome, I want to say to you, I want you to learn the traditions of Cabinet. And I want you to enjoy and respect the traditions of Cabinet, and I want you to bring us new ideas. And I want you to bring us new energy. And I want you to help us innovate and help us meet the moment that we're in. That is all of our responsibility together. Judaism, well, we don't know exactly, but 4,000 some years old, right? And we have a lot of traditions. Many traditions, and we respect those traditions. We tell the story of the Exodus at the Seder every year, thousands of years old stories. I don't know if anybody of you heard the comedian last night, but I know some of you heard it. I don't know if everybody in the room heard it. I actually thought his funniest joke was about how we, at your wedding, we break a glass. What's the glass? What's the breaking the glass about? We remember the destruction of the temple, right? In the middle of a wedding. We are a tradition-bound people, and we respect and we love our traditions. But we also do allow for change. I actually think that the most significant change in maybe the last century is not the one that's the most obvious, perhaps. We have the reform and conservative movements, Reconstructionist movement. We've had more diversity. We learned this morning about so many initiatives about belonging. These are all very significant. But you know, probably the greatest tradition is one that we've talked, the greatest change to our tradition is one we've talked a lot about, and that is the rebirth of the state of Israel. The returning after thousands of years of Jews to Israel and rebuilding the state. Now, this was not without controversy. You know that. In fact, Jewish, really traditional rabbis and many of our communities were opposed to it. They were worried that the creation of the state of Israel would disrupt the Jewish traditions that had developed over thousands of years. I don't think I want to compare that to the pitch clock in Major League Baseball, but you know there were lots of people who were really opposed to changing the traditions of a game that was 100 years old. There were a lot of our Jewish leaders who were very concerned about it. But along came a very traditional rabbi named Abraham Isaac HaKohen Kook. We call him most popularly Rav Kook. Rav Kook was one of the most traditional Orthodox rabbis you could imagine. He wore black coat and a beard and all of the traditions that he followed. He was the first chief rabbi of the pre-State of Israel, the pre-1948 settlement, the Yishuv, the rebuilding, the rebirth of Israel. And Rav Kook understood. Even though he respected and wanted to keep all the traditions that he'd been raised with and that he taught, he saw the pioneers, the Chalutzim, who were rebuilding the Jewish state, and he understood that they brought incredible energy and innovation. So he would visit their kibbutzim, and he would meet with them and talk with them, and he would dance with them. He wouldn't eat with them if the food wasn't kosher, but he would celebrate with them, and he would mourn with them, and he would be part of their lives. And here's what he taught. Rav Kook taught, what is old, make new, and what is new, make holy. What is old, make new, and what is new, make holy. Chevra, my prayer for each and every one of you, as we begin to come to the end of this incredible retreat. It's not over yet. We have programming this afternoon. But as we begin to think about leaving each other, is that we make both parts of that statement true. What is old, make new. Let's take this incredible institution of cabinet and these incredible institutions of the federations that we are part of, and let's infuse them with the energy and the creativity while respecting all the traditions, the energy and the creativity that is in this room, and the new ideas that you've learned, and the new partnerships that you've formed, and the new engagements that you've been able to create. But let's also, I pray, infuse everything we do with the holiness that we bring to this work, understanding and appreciating that traditions new and traditions old, the work of helping people in our communities and the Jewish people and around the world works because together we are a holy people. Together we are a holy community. Together our work represents the holiness that we bring to everything we do. My friends, holiness is an essential concept of the Jewish people. We say it all the time. You think about it without even recognizing it, we say it. When you say the kiddush over wine, kiddush comes from the word holy. When we say blessings, you say asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav. Kidshanu, it's kodesh, it's holiness. And of course, when we say our prayers daily, we say in the words of Isaiah, these words came from Isaiah, we say 3 times, kadosh, 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 and we stand up on our heels. Holy, holy, holy. We are a holy people. This is holy work. I pray that we will be able to continue to do so as we leave Denver, and as we go back to our communities, and as we travel the world together. On Monday, I talked to you about the coming together of this special conference. I talked to you about the meeting of Zman, Adam, and Makom, the bringing together of the time, of the people, and of the place, this beautiful conference. And I shared with you the words of one of our great rabbis of our tradition, thus is completed the circle of holiness. My friends, I hope as we get ready to leave Denver today, that we do feel like we have completed the circle of holiness, that we have met each other, that we have learned from each other, that we have embraced each other, and that we have committed ourselves together to be part of a circle of holiness that will go out and care for our communities and our people and the world. Now, I just want to remind us that holiness doesn't promise that everything will work out as we want it to. We have to remain, we have to hold on to our holiness through successes and through failures, through triumphs and through tragedies, through the good and the bad. There's a famous songwriter and poet of Israel, Naomi Shamir, who said it so beautifully. She said, we have to hold on through the bitter and the sweet. Again, I pray for all of us that we will hold on to the holiness of this retreat, whatever comes our way in the coming months, whatever comes our way as a Jewish people, whatever comes our way through the work that you do in Cabinet, and whatever comes our way in our families and in our lives. Naomi Shamir called it Al Kol Ela. And I asked our friend Rabbi Isaiah to help us sing it together. Please join with us.
Al hadvash ve'al ha'oketz, al hamar ve'hamatzot, al biteinu atinoket shmor Eli hatov, al ha'esh ha'mevoeret, al ha'mayim hazakim, al ha'esh asher habayta min ha'merchakim, al kol eileh, al kol eileh, shmor Eli, Eli atov, al hadvash ve'al ha'oketz, al hamar ve'hamatzot.
Second verse.
Al natah kor ha'netzut, al tishkach hashivim ben hashur
Together.
Al kol eileh, al kol eileh, Lord Ali, Eli atov, al hadvash ve'al ha'oketz, al hamar ve'hamatzot.
One last thing. We have an incredible first-year class. I think I've met most of you by now, 117 strong. Those of you who are here. We know it's just the beginning of a long journey. We know, as we heard from Josh and from others, the first time can be overwhelming. We welcome you, we love you. We know you'll ask any questions, and we know you'll continue to learn and to grow with us. We also have an incredible set of graduating classes, our 5th and 6th year classes. They have contributed so much to us. They have grown so much. And they are such important leaders for our Jewish community. Would you join with me as we get ready to close our conference in saying a mazel tov to the first year class, a welcoming mazel tov, and a special mazel tov, a thank you, a hatzlacha, success, and all good to our 5th and 6th year class. Sing with us out. Mazel tov, simin tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov. Yehelanu, 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 l'chol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, l'chol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu. To our first years and our 5th and 6th years, Toda Rabah. Alex and Scott, take it away.
I don't know how we compete after that. Gosh. Thank you, Eric. That was awesome and super fun. And thanks to Sherry and Josh. This is a little off script, so don't get mad at me, Ben. However, I love the intergenerational chat and talk. And just FYI, I pinned my mom, which not a lot of people know. And I love that it can go both ways, not just your, with the parent, but you can go the other way. So if you have any questions about that, please come chat with me. It was a really beautiful and special moment, and I think that it doesn't have to be, if you have kids, you can talk about it with even your own parents, if that's something you're interested in. Well, anyway, while the retreat continues after this session, this is our last time as a full group. We wanted to thank you for how connected and impactful the last few days have been. All of the planning would have been useless if you did not step up to be here, engage, and give your time and your treasure. A massive, massive thank you to our Denver Hevra, as well as Willie and Jenna and Renee from Jewish Colorado. Thank you. Yesterday's campaign day was remarkable. Rachel and Roe, you guys are amazing. Thank you. If you are one of the very few people who have not submitted your pledge yet, please do so. We really want to get those numbers in. So thank you all so much for stretching and supporting our community. It is now Scott's turn. Let's see how his voice holds up.
We owe thanks to so many people, to the Jewish Federations of North America leaders who joined us, to Gary Torgo, the chair of Jewish Federations of North America, David Heller, our campaign chair and chair of Rebuild Israel, and Sherry Kitai, chair of Women's National Women's Philanthropy. Back to you, Alex.
Their presence, you did so great. Well done. You did it. Their presence is a testament to the important work all of you are already doing. To all our Hevra who shared their stories in our plenaries, and to the exec team and class chairs who spent a lot of time planning for this retreat, we thank you so much. And of course, the entire Jewish Federations of North America professionals who ran such an incredible programming. And to Yehuda and your amazing team, thank you for keeping us safe. Ben and Michelle, can you guys just stand up and give a big wave? I know this is so off script, but what can I say? You are the backbone of this whole operation. There would be no one without the two of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please give it up for Ben and Michelle.
We have 2 more pieces of programming today. Best practices sharing and our deep dives. Cabinet programming extends beyond retreat.
We hope to see many of you in person at the General Assembly on November 16th to 18th, including a special cabinet advocacy opportunity. There's Sukkot across cabinet, Shabbat across cabinet, Cabinet Day of Service, the first year Israel mission experience. Woo, woo, woo. The second through 5th year study mission, 6th year study mission, and of course, all of the great things happening in your local communities. We hope this retreat has helped you to build your koach, your strength, and fill your cup. Mine is so filled, and it went over the edge last night when I saw you of karaoke. You guys all crushed it. Well done, first years. I'm very proud of you. Scott and I are honored and grateful to serve as your co-chairs. Please reach out to us if there is anything that we can help do for you and make this year of cabinet more enriching and more meaningful for you.
There is now a break until 10:30. Yeah, Alex.
Okay.
I feel like Josh and Sherry, who's supposed to talk when.
There is now a break until 10:45, for those who are leaving today to check out of their room and to store their luggage at the front desk. At 10:45, we will get to learn from each other in the best practice sharing peer group sessions. See you all there.
Thank you all.